Good evening, everybody. It's Wednesday, September 12th, and this is week 2 of Boost Your Business. So welcome back. On last week's call, you guys were asked to identify your goals for the month. And then over the last week, you were listening to daily videos that focused on increasing your sales by both changing your mindset about selling and increasing your product knowledge. So I thought it'd be fun to just start with a few minutes of sharing. I'd love to hear what your biggest takeaways from this past week were. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, my biggest takeaway has always been is I'm too pushy, or I feel it's too pushy. And the very first video really helped me shift my view of that it's not pushy. You're a direct seller. If you don't talk about it and if you don't offer it, how are you going to get something?
And, you know, we receive information from all kinds of businesses all the time. Is it pushy when they send us an email with a special or
Right.
you know, anything like that? I mean, it's how businesses get the word out.
Right.
Yeah, we're
And
offering.
that helped me shift my thinking.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of friends will rib me. Oh, you're Pampered Chef, you're Pampered Chef. Well, a perfect example is Ann and I have crossover friends. And I already had asked them previously when I had done Pampered Chef if they wanted to do a party and whatever. Mm-hmm. And then when they found out Ann became a Pampered Chef rep, he's like, "Oh, are you going to tag team me now?" I'm like, "No."
Oh, that's funny.
You know, I do.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ann.
To address that, I think you always run across that, even if you don't know. I happen to know John, and we do have mutual friends, so we do know that this issue exists, but sometimes you don't know that they have somebody else that's someone else who sells. And I just, like I said to Lisa, you offer it and back off, and at least if you don't ask them, you can't be upset that they're not having something with you because you at least asked. What if they went and found a stranger because I didn't want to ask because it's John's friend or whatever? I put it out there, I back off. They know I sell now. You know, if a special comes up, I might mention it. And that's, you know, it's up to them, you know, but I particularly am tread softly when there's mutual people.
Yeah. And I know when I was new, I didn't want to pressure my neighbors. So as a result, I thought everybody knew I sold Pampered Chef. And one day I was putting stuff into the trunk of my car, taking my crates out actually, and my neighbor was talking to me at the foot of my car, and she says, "What is it that you're always putting in and out of your car?" And I said, "Well, my Pampered Chef products." And she said, "You sell Pampered Chef?" She says, "Do you know for the last 3 weeks I've been asking around who knows a Pampered Chef consultant?" She goes, "How would it have felt for you?" She said, "If I found someone else, because I'll tell you, I would have invited you to the party." And I went, "Ooh, yeah." So we're not pressuring by offering. And I know at the Hopkinton Fair, I got a couple of bookings for other people because people came in, they were looking around. I kind of got them interested in the quick cooker. And then I found out they had a consultant. And I said, "Who are they? Who's your consultant?" And if I knew them, I took a selfie, sent it to their consultant, says, "She's ready to have another party. Follow up with her." So, yeah, it's not, people need and want what we've got to offer. And I always say, if you look at it like, if you wanted to go see a movie with a friend, you called them up, "Hey, I really thought you'd love this movie. Do you want to go with me?" If they said, "No, thanks, not my thing," would you think, "Oh my gosh, I'm never going to invite them to another movie again because they're going to think I'm so pushy every time I see them. They're going to think, is she going to invite me to another movie?" No, because you know that you're just throwing it out there. If they're interested, they'll go. If not, that's okay too. No pressure, it's not personal. So
that's why that very first video had a big impact on.
Anybody else want to? Dawn, are you raising your hand? Yeah.
I used to, a long time ago, do what I called hands-on shows. It's loosely like a station show, but it's not as structured. And it works well. She's absolutely right. Once they get their hands on it, they can talk to each other about it. And so I'm going to get back to that, because it was successful before, and I don't know why I drifted away from it, but I am going to go back to that.
I love the hands-on. Yeah, when people get their
And-
hands on the products and they start playing with them and they're chatting and just gabbing with their friends. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be as structured as the ones that Pampered Chef put out, where you have the recipe all in different slips. You can just highlight each section of the recipe and put it out with your tools and have people work on it. It works out great.
And, you know, one of the things that I've done a few times, depending on what the host wants and what her group is used to, I've even done ones where I made the recipe ahead. And then we just had a pile of potatoes, zucchini, garlic in the middle of the table and products all around the perimeter. And people just play with the stuff.
That's a good idea too.
And I've done that at a workplace because they didn't have a full kitchen. So I brought the recipe already done. And it worked out so well that I started offering it at my parties. Yeah, because it was just a blast. So,
and it's a quicker show too.
Yes. And it's easy. You don't have to worry about burning a recipe or measuring stuff. People are just slicing and dicing. They're like, oh, give me that. Would that work over here? And I've been at parties where people.
I like that.
Yeah, people didn't even know I was the consultant. Because I'm just sitting back. Yes, Ann.
Can I ask you a question about that, bringing to a workplace? I have someone I'm trying to figure out how to make it work at her workplace. And you said bring the meal and then some things to play. That's an awesome idea, and I'm probably going to steal it. But any other tips in that realm?
You know, find out what the setup's like. Have her take a picture of whatever room you're going to be in and send it to you ahead of time. Find out, you know, what kind of, you know, like any party, find out what kind of thing they might be looking for. Are they into healthy cooking or whatever? Yeah, and then you can just make something ahead so that they have something to eat. But then, yes, you can show off hundreds of dollars worth of products with 3 potatoes. But, you know, so I always bring, you know, a couple of potatoes, a hunk of garlic, zucchini, you know, whatever you want to show off, whatever people want to see. And it's very quick because they're just
That's the
playing
key.
stuff. 5 to 10 minutes, because if they have a 30-minute lunch break and they want to sit and eat, you know, you got maybe 10 to 12 minutes of playing time. So
Yeah,
that's
that's an awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any takeaways from, you know, power tools and things like that when it comes to sales? Was there stuff last
I
week?
will definitely be changing how I talk about the rock crock. I absolutely love it. I use it all the time. But I do tend to say it goes in da-da-da-da-da-da-da instead of painting a picture and talking about a recipe I make and why I love it so much.
Yeah, it's true. And Michelle
Right.
Weinstein is like the queen of creating the word picture. She can sell a product with just a picture in the book, or she'll hold the product without using it and she'll describe a recipe and you swear, you're just like, I think I can smell it. I think I smell whatever the recipe is. She just describes it in mouth-watering detail. So you don't even need to use the product, but you want it because you're thinking, that would be good. My family would love something like that. So it's not so much what it could, you know, oh, here are the features, but you know, here's what it can do for you. So absolutely. And yes.
Yeah, can I say something, I guess, from Brenda Ashby, because she's having a hard time to do her video and her speaker. So I don't know what the question was. Sorry, I was late. I was talking to a potential new recruit. So, but she wrote, I feel that I'm always thinking about me, what I want, what I like. I need to think of the customers and what they want instead.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's about what we can offer them. So that's absolutely true. And I feel like when I'm reaching out to people, like if I hear a theme, and I automatically start thinking to myself, who do I know that would love that theme? Who do I know that, you know, that would really speak to them? You know, with the Cooking with Kids, I've got a neighbor who runs a daycare, and she is in part of a network of people who run a daycare. So of course, oh my gosh, you know, give her a call and say, Brenda, I was just thinking about you. I thought this might be something that's right up your alley. And sometimes they even say to people as I'm reaching out to them, I will start with, feel free to say no, but I just heard this idea and I just wanted to run it by you. You were one of the first people I thought about. And they feel special. So even if they say no, thank you, so often, most of the time they're saying, thank you so much for thinking of me, but now's not the right time, or something along those lines. I think when we really sincerely reach out with an idea that, you know, oh, I was thinking of you, this is right up your alley, and they hear it and they go, yeah, that kind of is up my alley, but it might not be just the right time. But I don't think anybody feels pressured by that. So Brenda, absolutely be thinking about how you can be of service to people. You know, when you're scrolling through Facebook and you see different posts, how can I help that person? Yes, Belinda.
I have to hop off because I have a conference committee meeting at
Oh, okay.
8:15. So I'll see you. Bye.
right.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for hopping on.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
Karen,
Yes.
this is Sue.
Hi,
Where
Sue.
were the videos? Because I didn't get. I see in the book it says daily videos delivered straight to your box, but I didn't find where they were.
Michelle's your director, right?
Yes.
So it should be an email from her with the booklet, the training booklet, as well as each.
Okay, I did get the. Okay, you're right. I did get the booklet and I printed it, and there was videos. That's the link I got to go back to for the videos.
Yep, that's the same one.
I'll
Yep.
go back and
There's a
find them and
direct
double up
link.
this week.
There's a direct link. You just click on it, video 1, video 2, video 3, and it brings it up.
Okay,
It brings
thank you.
you to YouTube.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So keep in mind that while this, wait a minute. Yeah. I'm looking like, am I talking about week 2 here? Yes, here we are. While this series will help you boost your business in 30 days, you will continue and grow and evolve long after September 30th. So this is just the start of it. But, you know, picturing yourself not as a salesperson, but as that go-to guru or that helpful person, you know, keep kind of developing your Pampered Chef brand, okay? We all have to be true to who we are. We're all under the Pampered Chef umbrella, but then we all get to sort of, you know, be that person that we want to be. It's not necessarily a salesperson. Don't throw away your notes from this series. Keep them and read through them from time to time, and watch the videos that really speak to you. Month after month, you'll hear it differently, and you know, you hear it on week 1 and you make some progress, and all of a sudden after the month is over, you go back and you listen to it again, and all of a sudden you realize how far you've come, and then you're ready to take maybe that next step. So so keep your notes, keep the videos, and check back from time to time. All right, so this week is going to be all about bookings. And if you've got your calendar handy, go ahead and grab it. Like last week, there will be daily videos, and some of them focus on mindset, and some of them focus on ideas and words to say. And one day this upcoming week, I can't remember which day it was, one of the videos has, or the booklet has 100 ways to get a booking. Crazy, right? 100 ways to get a booking? Crazy. So, but they're all out there. And you don't have to do all 100 ways. You can pick and choose 10 or whatever that speak to you. So last week you were asked to set your goals. And I want you to think about how many shows did you say you wanted to hold each month? Okay? And I want you to think about it this way. If everyone you reached out to about a party said yes without hesitation, how many parties would you book in September and October? Just go ahead and write down that number. If everyone said yes without hesitation, how many parties would you book in September and October? And then you can write down how many would be in-home shows, how many would be virtual. What I want you to do next is get specific about on what days you will do these shows in September and October. Take some time after we get off this call tonight, if you have about 5 minutes, kind of go through, see what your commitments are, and then see what dates are left open for parties. And if you have a Tuesday morning, don't sit there and say, well, nobody's going to want to go to a party on a Tuesday morning. There might be a mom's group or a book club, or somebody might have a workplace party. at that time. Whatever dates open up for you, just have those available. When it comes to virtual parties, my suggestion, and it's just a suggestion, is do them in batches. To me, that's like doubling or tripling a recipe versus cooking every day, right? It doesn't take 3 times as long to triple a recipe, right? Just takes a few extra cups of flour or whatever. Many consultants do 4 or 5 virtual parties all at the same time. They start on the same day, they end on the same day. Same post, just copy and paste. Then you're also sharing the same host coaching ideas with each host every single day. Copy, paste. And when it comes to meeting your goal of number of shows held, it's important to overbook to accommodate for cancellations or postponements. And if you're thinking, oh my goodness, I just want to get up to the number I want, never mind overbooking, not to worry. Remember I said there was something coming down the pike with 100 ways to get a booking. So if you want to submit 4 virtual parties in a month, I suggest you schedule 5 or 6. If you want to hold and submit 4 live cooking shows, you're probably going to want to book 5 or 6. You might want to pick a push period, and that is a month or just a couple of weeks. It's a short period of time when you do more business than you would normally do for the purpose of momentum. How many of you would love to have so much momentum in your business you really didn't have to go looking for bookings? So what I do is a couple of times a year, this is one of those times right after the Hopkinton Fair, that I have a push period where a couple of weeks I really focus on filling my calendar. At the beginning of September, on September 1st, I had 4 parties. 4 between me and nothingness. I now have 10 for September, 6 for October, 4 or 5 virtual parties, and 3 or 4 other people picking dates because I picked a short period of time where I just did a bucket load of outreach. You don't have to do what I do. I'm just saying, if you pick a short period of time, focus on what you want to get done. Now, the reason why I do this is because now I've got the whole fall ahead of me. And I know our products sell themselves, especially this time of year. So now I can focus on $1,000 show average. I can focus on recruiting because we've got this $29 offer. So once my bookings are in place, that puts a lot on autopilot. Also, I sleep better at night. I'm not wondering where my business is coming from, right? So, but know that everybody, including me, including Michelle Weinstein, including all the directors, whoever anybody's directors are, we all have periods where we go, oh my gosh, where are all my bookings? They fall out of my calendar. They were here a month ago. What happened? But we all, so we all from time to time, I call it Velcroing myself to my chair. And really, I'm not Velcroing myself to my chair for hours and hours and hours a day. I'm Velcroing myself to a chair for about 30 minutes a day for a week or 2. So if you like the sound of that, pick a push period, rip off the Band-Aid, schedule maybe an extra couple of parties because then the momentum that comes from that is amazing. I mean, think about it. What if you did 2 to 3 more parties in a 2-week period than you normally do? What would happen?
Probably get some recruits out of it.
Yeah, you might get more recruit leads because if you normally are doing one party or 2 parties in a 2-week time period, but now you're doing 5 in a 2-week time period, you're probably going to have some recruit leads because you've got 5 parties. And it's hard to go to 5 parties and do a Q&A round and not find someone who might want to take advantage of a $29 kit, right?
Mm-hmm.
What else? What are your sales going to be like?
You also get more bookings, so you don't have to worry about next month if you can fill your calendar.
Exactly. So for this short period of time where you do 5 parties in 2 weeks, all of a sudden you get 2 parties from each of those. That's 10 parties. Do you think you're going to be wondering where your business is going to come from in October? No. And if you have a host who says, I want to become a consultant, and I'd like the booking for my show because it's my mom, are you going to sit there and say, no, you can't have it? I need that. No, you're going to be like, yes, of course, sign, because you've got that momentum. And so if you can just for a 2-week period of time handle a couple of more parties, it can really, it's like the plane going down the runway and getting lift. All of a sudden it gives you just enough speed that all of a sudden, And then you can sit back and fly. More bookings, more recruit leads, obviously more sales, more confidence and skill. Anything that you do more often, you get better at. And of course, you're not going to be worried about earning any incentives that Pampered Chef is offering, because you're probably going to earn those. And not only do you get all these things, but you get more excitement. And then you can really show up at your parties all kind of calm and cool and collected, because you know you've got what you need, no sweat. You're not worrying about if people are going to book with you. You're following up with those who are interested, because you know there's going to be plenty of them. So you really can focus on that other person because you're not worried about yourself. And it's kind of like a train in motion. It's harder to stop than to keep on going. We said in the start of the series that you decide the goals and the pace, and that still holds true. So decide what's right for you. Talk with your coach if you are considering a push period and you have questions about it. Then set aside about 10 minutes a day for learning about bookings, those videos. And then you want to carve out pockets of time to implement some of the 100 ways to book a party. Okay? So, any questions before we send you off into the week to go forth and book?
I can't wait to get started.
Glad. It's really, and it's not about necessarily saying exactly the right thing to exactly the right person. It's really about casting a wide net and offering a lot to a lot of people. And by the way, one thing that helps me a lot, because I don't think this is in one of the videos, is when I come up with a new theme, I will think about who do I know that might love that theme, and I'll message them and I'll say something like, hey, I was just reaching out because I came up with a new idea for a show and I'm looking to pilot that show this month. If you help me out by piloting this blah 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 theme, I will bring the ingredients for the recipe. How does that sound to you? And I'm reaching out to people. I thought you'd love this theme because I thought you and your friends might love this theme. So I say that I'm piloting it so that they sound like, oh, they're first in with this new catalog and this new pilot show, right? Ooh. And, you know, if you help me out by helping me pilot this party this month, I'll supply the ingredients for the show. And then you can just take that same message and send it to, you know, whoever comes to mind that you think would really enjoy that thing, that party. When I was wanting to do more daytime parties, I came up with the idea of the workplace demo. And so I reached out to a bunch of people that I knew who worked in large workplaces. And I said, I'm looking to really pilot this new idea. I know you work at a big place. And I thought, you know, you could really clean up if you were the host of this. Is that something that interests you? Would you like to learn more about this? So, and I sent it to a bunch of people. When I wanted to pilot the show about making your show a mini canned food drive, where I would supply a prize, as you know, for people, everybody who brought a canned good or non-perishable food item, they would get $1 for every item they brought, and I would raffle it off. So those parties helped support the local food pantry. And so I reached out specifically to people that I knew who did a lot of volunteering, especially right here in Goffstown where I live, we've got the Goffstown Network Food Pantry. So I reached out to people who were associated with the food pantry who I thought would really speak to them, that would really speak to their heart, and that would be something that they would enjoy. So like Sue was saying, you know, thinking of the other person and how we can be of service to them. And not just kind of posting on Facebook going, well, I posted, I guess nobody wants that, but specifically reaching out. Okay? All right. So I will stay on. I'm going to stop the recording here, but I'll